Experiment 9. Experiment 9 of the control system lab. In this experiment, we are going to write a MATLAB code to plot the root locus, Bode and Nyquist plot of the given transfer function using MATLAB and study the stability of the system. The aim of the experiment is to sketch the root locus for the given transfer function and hence verify the same using MATLAB simulation. And second aim is to study the effect of open loop poles and zeros on the root locus contour and what is the effect of change in system gain K. Third aim of the experiment is comparative study of Bode, Nyquist and root locus sketches with respect to the stability using MATLAB. Now we will try to understand how you to obtain the root locus sketch theoretically first, and then we will see the simulation in the MATLAB for the example taken. The root locus technique is used to find the roots of the characteristic equation. This technique provides a graphical method of plotting of locus of roots in the S-plane as a given parameter, usually gain, is varied from 0 to infinity over complete range of values. In a short form, the root locus is a graphical plot or a trace of the path of the poles when the system gain K is varied from 0 to infinity. Now we will try to understand the procedure of obtaining the root locus sketch in theoretical manner. For a unity feedback system given G of S equal to K S into S plus 4 into S plus 2. So this is an example that I have taken. First step of any given transfer function is to obtain the open loop poles and open loop zeros. So in this particular given transfer function, my open loop poles are at origin S equal to 0, minus 4, minus 2. Since I don't have any numerator term, therefore my zeros are equal to 0. So Z is equal to number of zeros, that is 0. Capital P is the number of poles, is 3. Okay, so number of branches of root locus is equal to number of poles or number of zero, whichever is greater. So in this case, the number of branches of root locus will be equal to 3. Okay. Now where is the root locus starting and terminating? We all know that always the root locus starts or originate at poles and terminate at infinity. So the starting point of my root locus is always at system gain of K0, starting point S equal to 0, minus 4 and minus 2. So these are the starting points of my root locus. And the terminating point are always the finite or infinite zeros. Since in this given problem or taken, there are no zeros existing. So all the poles that we have here is equal to 0, minus 4 and minus 2 are going to terminate at infinity, infinity and infinity. So there are 3 branches of root locus that are terminating at infinite value. And next is pole 0 plot and the section on the real axis. So we need to determine which part of the root locus lies on the segment lies on the root locus. So we need to determine which segment of segment lies on the root locus. In order to do so, first plot the poles given. You can see here poles are marked with cross mark. So I have S equal to 0, minus 2 and minus 4. So minus 2 and minus 4. So now in order to consider the segment on the real axis, I consider a test point towards the left side of the pole and count how many open loop poles and zeros are there towards the right side. If it is an even odd number, then root locus is existing. If it is an even number, no root locus exists. Now take a test point at this point here and count how many open loop poles and zeros are there towards the right side. It's an even number. Therefore, you can see here NRL, no root locus. Again, after -4, take a test point, count how many open loop poles and zeros are there. It is 3. 1, 2, and 3. So it is an odd number, therefore root locus exists, and this will till infinity. Therefore, you can see here the root locus exists on the real axis between s equal to 0 and -2, and s equal to -4 to infinity. So this dark portion is my segment of root locus lying. The next point is finding of the asymptotes. Asymptotes are the branches that tells me how many lines of the root locus are terminating at infinity. Therefore, it is always given by number of poles minus number of zeros. In this case, we have number of poles are 3. Z is equal to 0, therefore 3. So it means I will be having 3 lines that are terminating at infinity. Where does this asymptotic lines will originate is what we call as centroid. And this centroid is given by the symbol sigma is equal to summation of real poles minus summation of real zeros divided by p minus z. So in this case, I have my real poles at 0, -2 and -4 divided by p minus z is 3. So you have centroid is -2. Similarly, find the angle of asymptotes. The angle of asymptote is theta is equal to 2q plus 1 into 180 degrees divided by p minus z, where q is equal to the number of angles, and this will be usually taken as q is taken as p minus z minus 1. So what is the p minus z? 3. Minus 1 is 2. Therefore, the values of q will be 0, 1 and 2. So till 2 it will be taken, and this is what we have taken. So find the 3 angles by substituting the values of q. When I substitute the value of q as 0, you get 180 by 3, so 60 degrees. When I substitute the q as 1, I get 3 into 180 divided by 3, so 180 degrees only it is. Theta 3 is 2 into 2, 4, plus 1, 5. 5 into 180 divided by 3, so it gives me 300 degrees. But while marking 300 degrees cannot be marked, therefore 360, that is a negative value we have to take. 300 minus 360 is minus 60 degrees. You have marked here, take the centroid as -2, okay, and then use a protector to mark 60-degree angle, minus 60 degree, and 180 degree will be on the real axis. You need not mark them, okay. And then to find the breakaway points. The breakaway point, when I am finding, first step is find the characteristic equation. 1 plus my open loop transfer function k divided by s into s plus 2 s plus 4 equal to 0. You get x cube plus 6x squared plus 8s plus k equal to 0. So k is equal to minus x cube minus 6x squared minus 8s. Differentiate this, you get minus 3x squared minus 12s minus 8 equal to 0. Once you differentiate, equate to 0 and find the roots of the equation. So the two roots of the equations are 0, 0.45 minus and minus 3.15. You have got two roots of the equation. Now you have to validate whether both of them are the breakaway points or which one is the valid breakaway point. So procedure of finding the valid breakaway point is substitute the value of s in the equation for k, given value of k, and if the value of k is positive, only then the valid breakaway point is there. If the value is negative or complex in nature, then it is not a valid breakaway point. Okay, so in this case I have done the testing here by substituting the value of k, and for minus 3.15 my value of k is minus 3.079, that is negative, therefore not a valid breakaway point. So by substituting minus 0.845 in the value of k here, you get plus 3.079. So it means my value of k is positive for x equal to minus 0.845. So it is a valid breakaway point. So you have only one breakaway point in this particular expression that we have taken. So it is at 0.45. Next is intersection point on the imaginary axis. So intersection point on imaginary axis is obtained using RH criterion. So for that, first step is the characteristic equation that we have taken already. X cube plus 6x squared plus 8x plus k equal to 0. Form the array using the root array rules. So you take first two rows are formed from the given equation. So coefficient is 1, 8. Then for square it is 6 and k. Then you need to find the determinant, that is 6 into 8, 48 minus k divided by 6. And similarly, this is multiplied with this 6 into 0 divided by this, so you get the value is k. In order to find the marginal value of k, substitute or equate the row s to the power of 1 equal to 0. So 48 minus k by 6 is equal to 0 to determine the value of k. So k marginal is 48. Substitute the value of k in auxiliary polynomial. Auxiliary polynomial is which row you have equated to 0 above that row. So s square. So 6s squared plus k is equal to 0. So substitute the value of k as 48. Find the s square value, is minus 8. So s is equal to plus or minus j root 8, that is 2.828. So intersection point on my j omega axis is 2.828 you get for the marginal value of 48. Using all the parameters that we have obtained now, sketch the root locus. And there are no going to be complex poles, therefore there is no angle of departure and angle of arrival. Okay, first thing on the graph sheet, you have to mark the poles. You can see here s equal to 0, -2, -4. Then segment on the root locus, so dark line, s equal to 0 to -2 and -4 to infinity. Then take the centroid. Centroid is -2, asymptotic line, 60 degree dotted line, asymptotic line, and -60 again dotted line. And then find the breakaway point, -0.845 mark here. Intersection point is 2.82 and minus j 2.82. Next, join this line in symmetrical manner and such that it is parallel to the asymptotic line. So this is the root locus sketch that you get. It means that at k equal to 48 it is marginally stable. K greater than 48 system is unstable, but 0 to 48 my system is stable. So since the system condition for system to be stable is my root locus should lie on the left half of S plane. Okay, so this portion is stability. Okay, this is regarding the root locus that we have seen regarding the prediction of stability. 0 to 48, all roots are lying on the left half of a string. System is absolutely stable. Now we do the same in MATLAB, and procedure for the MATLAB execution is open the MATLAB command and then editor window, write the program, save the file as .m5, execute the program by selecting the run, and copy the plot obtained, note down the breaking point and intersection points. Okay. Next we will see the MATLAB code for the root locus. I have taken the transfer function as 1 s to the power of 3 s 5 x squared plus 6x. For this particular transfer function, I am obtaining my root locus. So n is equal to 0, 0, 0, 1. Denominator is 1, 5, 6, and 0. Because you have to write for all the coefficients 3, 2, 1, and 0. Okay. So system transfer function is n comma d, numerator comma denominator. Command for root locus is r locus of system. Okay. And I have given specification for the grid size. Okay. So k, you need to find the system value of k. So root locus find of system. I have tried to give the title for my graph, and then I'm trying to find the effect. This will give me the normal root locus sketch. So from here you can try to obtain the breakaway point, the range of K for system to be stable, okay, and breakaway points. But now what is the effect of adding of the poles and zeros we can determine here by adding the pole 1 and 10, that is s plus 10 to the denominator by using the convolution command conv convolution. So you get a new denominator. So for this new transfer function system 1, try to obtain the transfer. So this will give me the root locus sketch for after the addition of poles. So you can calculate the breakaway point, the intersection point on j omega axis, and see what is the effect on the stability of the system. Similarly, we can do for addition of zeros. So by adding the zero, you can see here convolution I have taken s plus 1. This is my zero I have taken, added to the numerator. So you get new transfer function system 2. So you can get my new root locus sketch. Okay, and you can try to find the effect of K on the transient also. So the value of K you have taken here. So 1560 plus K. So value of K gets added here. So when you add the value of K, again you can see here new transfer function that we have here, step having combination of n, d and t time. The combination. So plot of t comma t. This will give me the effect of K on the transient response. How the transient response is affecting for the value of my given K. And this can be done for different values of K and check. And same response of the system can be obtained for the Bode plot by using the command Bode of the system. And the system is the same transfer function that we are used in here. 1 by x to the power of q 5x squared plus 6x. So that the comparative analysis for the stability of Bode plot and Nyquist becomes easier for us. Okay. And find the gain margin and phase margin. For that margin of the system, I am using the transfer function. So you can get crossover frequency of phase and gain, and you can get the gain margin in your decibels. 20 log of 10 I'm converting and taken care. Okay. And Nyquist plot, again same Nyquist system. So obtain the plot. You can compare the comparison of root locus, Bode plot and Nyquist. And we have obtained the simulation result for the same. You can see here I have the root locus on the real axis, and then I have a breakaway point. I have the intersection point on j omega axis. So these are my comments. Okay. Similarly, by effect of adding the poles and zeros, you can see here. By adding the poles and zeros, the path of the root locus will vary. Here you have two breakaway points. Okay. Similarly, the shape here also will vary in the context. And by the effect of K on the transient response of system is obtained here. You can see here system is oscillating. You can try to obtain the peak time, rise time, and other parameters for this particular response of the system. And this is a Nyquist plot for the given transfer function that we have chosen, 1 by x cube plus 5x squared plus 3s. Okay. And this is my Bode plot. And from this Bode plot, I have tried to obtain the gain margin, that is infinity, and my phase margin 84.3 degrees at, this is my gain crossover frequency 0.995. Okay. And now what is omega GC and omega PC? The magnitude plot wherever crosses 0 dB line is what we call as omega GC, and that is 0.995. At this omega GC, when you find the required angle, this is my phase margin, and when the phase plot crosses 180 degree is what I get phase crossover frequency. But in this case, since it is not crossing the minus 180 degrees. So I assume that it is going to be, infinity. And there is a reason you can see here, since the phase plot does not cross minus 180, it means I don't have the phase crossover frequency. So it means my gain margin is going to be infinite here. Okay, this is the conclusion drawn that we'll talk regarding. Okay, and then you can comment on your stability of the system based on whether your system is going to be omega gc greater than omega pc. In this particular case, since my omega pc is greater than thing, so it is my system is unstable in the context.